is the There Is Another Way podcast from SpencerBruce.com. Making life work as a creative. Hello and welcome to this week's There Is Another Way podcast. How are you all doing out there? I hope you are all doing remarkably well given the circumstances. Thank you once again for your continuing support with the podcast. Greatly appreciated. We are now also on the website Podchaser. Podchaser is a great site for finding out more and more about all the podcasts that are out there. I think it's an absolutely fantastic resource and fantastic site. I have certainly spent a lot of time over there looking at various different podcasts and getting more podcasts to add to my ever-growing list of podcasts to listen to. As you probably know, I am a little bit of a podcast addict. I love the form. That's why I do one myself. I have put a link to the There Is Another Way podcast in the show notes below on Podchaser. If you don't mind, it would be great if you could head over there if you're already a member and already signed up and leave a little review for this podcast. It really helps. It really helps get visibility for the show, and that would be absolutely fantastic if you wouldn't mind doing that. In other news, I mentioned in last week's podcast that I'm going to be doing a workshop event, a free creativity starter workshop. That is going to be happening on the 25th of March. A date for your diary. Do put it in there at 4 o'clock UK or GMT. I'll be putting a link to the Eventbrite page and workshop page in the link below so you can sign up there if you're interested. It will be an hour long. It is a free session to come and talk about all things creative. I will be giving some demonstrations and again giving you more ideas of ways that you can kickstart your creativity. So I really do hope that you are able to make it on the 25th of March. Really look forward to seeing you there. Really hope that you are able to make it to the event. It's going to be great. And it will be the first of many. So keep your eyes posted for updates on that. Referring back to last week's podcast as well, the idea of coming up with a sequel. I ran this exercise past some of my students last week as well, and we had some really great ideas and answers to this question. And one in particular maybe will serve to show how you can take this and use it as a creative exercise to come up with a completely new concept. One of my students said something which I guess was kind of said in jest to begin with, but once we started to roll with it, we really developed something that I think was really quite interesting. So his initial thought was he wanted a sequel to Apocalypse Now, which was basically Apocalypse Now, but without all the war and without all the killing. So when you say it out loud, it kind of seems perhaps a little bit ludicrous, and he kind of said it a little bit tongue-in-cheek. But the more you delve into it, you want to scrape away at the idea. And the more you impart your creativity onto it, which we did, we kind of talked through what it would be. We came up with a really interesting concept. So if you do take away all the war and all the killing from Apocalypse Now, what do you actually have left? Well, simply you have a man looking for another man who doesn't want to be found in the jungle. A man is going on a journey to find this person who doesn't want to be found through a heady mixture of the oppression of the jungle and the influence of drugs. The more you think about it, is this more like Fear and Loathing in Hanoi? It's to me, it's a really interesting concept and something that I would certainly consider developing or thinking about getting my teeth into. It could be a really interesting film if someone wanted to make it. A journey, a man who is paranoid hiding out and another man's journey to find him throughout the difficulty of navigating one's way through the jungle. So there you go. There's just a little insight to something that was done very, very quickly, and out of nothing, out of a kind of throwaway comment, I guess we came up with an idea for another film, loosely based on an existing film. It just goes to show the power of thought and the power of creativity. You know, no idea is crazy. No idea is stupid. You can make something from everything. And if you bounce these ideas around, the more you think about it, the more something will stick, the more you will get an idea, the more you will get a narrative, and the more you can flow with it and perhaps come up with a focus and a direction for the work that you are trying to create. Now on to this week's quick tip. This week's creativity Kickstarter idea I'm going to call What is Bugging You? This is going to be a fun one, isn't it? The idea is to think about what is really bugging you right now. What is really getting under your skin, or what really gets under your skin? What is driving you nuts? What is the thing that really makes you want to rage? Let's put the current world crisis out of that. That would be an easy solution. But think, really get down, spend some time thinking. What is the thing that is really bugging you? Think about the one thing that is either wrong with the world or just with your world that you are living in right now. It could be anything. It could be the constant lies that go on. It could be, for me, something that made me rage yesterday are companies that plead with you for your feedback, always sending you email after email about how did we do with this service. I went into a shop, I bought something from my shop, I was happy, I left the shop, you got the money from me, I got the thing I wanted, end of. I don't want to be constantly harangued with emails telling me, how did we do? Please justify me, please give me acceptance that you really enjoyed it. See, it's getting to me now. What is this data for? Anyway, yes, you did a good job, you're a shop, you sold me something. If there was something wrong, I would probably complain. If I was really happy with the service, I would tell you directly. But 99 points of transactions are, I go into a shop, I buy, you sell something, I buy it, I give you the money, you take the money, I walk out the shop, end of. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it's just the way that we live. And it just seems that there is this real need now for, I guess lots of companies have gone on social media courses and like, get your feedback, get feedback. You can have all this data and it's useful, but it's not. I've actually gone the other way now. I'm starting to leave 1-star reviews. I'm really sorry, but it's like, stop hassling me. Stop filling up my email with these requests for justification that you basically did your job. So there you go. There's something that really gets under my skin. But what about you? Is it social injustice? Is it, whatever it is? That's phase one. That's the thing that is bugging you. Now, there are two ways of thinking about this. The first way is to try and encapsulate that into an idea that you can focus your next piece of work around. Is it a solution to that problem? Is it a poem? Is it a piece of art? Is it a video installation? Is it something which reflects your thoughts and your ideas on this subject? Sometimes when we need to kickstart our creative mind, looking inwards and at things that make us both really happy or perhaps really angry, that can be a real source of inspiration for the next idea, where I'm going to take this. Alternatively, you could think, look at all this energy, look at this energy I have in me right now. What am I going to do with that? How can I use my workflow, my artistic medium to let this emotion out, whether it's banging on a piano or going and chiseling away at a piece of clay or getting out there and shooting something which is really intense. What is bugging you? What is bugging you right now? Think about it and think about how you can translate that energy or the ideas and a solution to what's bugging you into the next piece of work that you do. Go away, go and think about it. There you go. There's this week's creative quick tip. I hope you found that useful. Thank you for supporting the podcast. As I mentioned at the beginning, if you can go on to something like Podchaser or Apple iTunes, wherever it is that you get your podcast from, and leave the podcast a review, that would be really greatly appreciated. And don't forget, check out the Eventbrite link below. Keep notified. We will be putting out a workshop. Would love to see you at the workshop. Would love to hear your thoughts and feedbacks. If you want to drop me an email, that would be really great too. Love to hear how you're getting on with these exercises. But most importantly, take care, my friends, and I will catch you later.